Oh, 5:01. We're running behind.
I know, I'm sorry. We could probably literally spend 8 hours doing that stuff in the
Yeah.
utility.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to do that stuff.
Yeah, I've worked on the strategic plan with the college about 4 years ago, and it's a tedious process. It is.
Cody will not be pleased. We are running 2 minutes behind.
Well, at least you won the round.
Thank you.
Yes. Mhm.
I'm missing, where'd you
Uh-huh.
go? We're missing one. Where do you get
Yeah.
this? We lost
Let's
it.
go back there. Well, thank you all for coming this evening. He can practice his handwriting back there.
Lisa, get back.
All right.
Open this. All right, it is 5:03. I'll call this meeting to order. Dr. Miller, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There being no delegations, we'll move to reports. West Virginia Young Riders.
I have 3 of the 6 winners here tonight. These young writers had to submit essays, and they could be on anything. They could be fiction, nonfiction. They did have to meet a certain length requirement. And these essays were judged here. And then these guys, their winning essays are now submitted through the Marshall University portal and will be judged on a state level. And this state level is hoping to do either virtual or an in-person judging on May 5th. So just as soon as I get that information, it's typically held at the University of Charleston. But as soon as I have it, I will reach out to you guys. So my first on the list is Miss Lily Moss. She has a title. Hers was A Magical Friendship. Come on up, Lily. Have a seat, or stand right there, okay? My other one is Adelie Chapman with Dystopia as her topic. And then our last one, 11th and 12th grade, was Miss Kara Anderson, and hers was The Cottage. Do you guys have any questions for our 3 winners here tonight about their essays or their stories they made?
Did you all enjoy writing them? Yeah.
How long did it take?
I'd say it took me like a week and a half on and off writing on it.
Several drafts? Lots of editing, maybe?
Yeah, Yeah, I have this thing where I was like, every time I open my computer, I need to write a sentence on the story to get it done.
Okay, I like that, consistency. It pays off. All right,
I got a question. You said you would come to your computer every so often and, sit down and work on it. Did you ever, because I'm a music guy and this happens to me occasionally, do you ever get away from it and then take a look at it and go, oh, I really don't like that. I'm going to erase that and I think this is better. Was there sometimes you sat down and went, no, I like this a lot. I'm going to keep this in here. Was that a big part of your editing process?
Yeah, I changed like the direction of my story like multiple times because I got to that one point where it had to go one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Good news. Well, thank you all very much
Yes,
for
thank
coming
you
this
all.
evening.
Congrats.
We're very proud of you.
now, if we'll just step out in the hallway, I'll get pictures of the winners for the county websites, okay? Thank you, board.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda. We have 3 minutes to approve. I guess I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the February 21st, 24th, and 27th meeting minutes.
Second.
All right, any further discussion on these minutes or anything else? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on to the treasurer's report. So I think we have the schedule of checks, monthly financial report, and budget transfer.
Hello.
Hello.
Again.
I do, and included in your packet, and I had sent an email there Saturday with the budget transfer. A couple of those that you got had already been approved. The main one on there was the carryovers from FY '22 into FY '23 for Fund 11, which is the general fund, and then Fund 12, which is the excess levy. We had more carryover into FY '23 than what was originally projected, which is a great thing for us. That has allowed us to plug some holes in this year's budget. One of the major holes that we have year in and year out, which probably if I gave you 3 chances to guess it, you would all nail it within 3, is substitute costs. That's just a current and ongoing issue. You can't, in some positions, you can't just not have people there. There has to be people there. So we were able to do that, and that is reflected in that transfer. We were also able to complete budgets for some of the current projects that we have and potential future projects that we have. So I don't know if you want me to go down through those, if you have questions of those, of what you reviewed.
I was curious, and I know we've talked about in the past, the William Shriver, what was that one for, the 29,000 on the checks to be written? Was that for
That is
the high school?
That,
or was
no,
that, or is
yeah,
that
that's
the
for the high
bill?
school. I believe that was for some of the
The
completion
storage.
on the animal processing.
Oh, that's the,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
I got you. I didn't know if that was.
Yeah,
I
some of
didn't
those.
know, which one that was.
Some of the budgets that we were able,
that
to
was the new budget.
stabilize, it's not that the funds weren't there. We were just able to spell it out and allocate it. The animal processing, that's completely funded, taken care of, no issues. The drainage issue out back, completely funded, no issues. We have talked about, and you guys have seen, the new lockers that are at the high school.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with that change, creates
Floor and paint.
more floor and paint.
Yeah.
So we have set aside some funding for that. We don't know that we'll be able to do all of that. That will be dependent upon what old issues that we find in a building that old. Then how we have to address those needs, and I believe some of those needs have been patched over before, but what does it look like for us to fix it indefinitely? One of the other things that Dr. Amini and I have talked about looking forward, we want to support the staff and however we can for professional development. I didn't have a particular amount to allocate to that, but that is a current and ongoing conversation that we keep having, and we want to provide any staff that wants to go to some kind of professional development training that's relative to their position, the opportunity to do so. So that, that's something that is out there. And just, other projects in the building that, maybe we haven't really defined yet, we've just talked about. So there is funding available there to meet those needs. And I did share, and every time you find yourself with a blessing like this, it almost seems like a curse, because when you have a carryover, that is not a guaranteed source of funding. So there are things that, sure, you wish you could do, but you can't necessarily do it with those carryover funds, because next year we may not have them. We have them this year, but there's no guarantee that they'll be there next year. So that is the budget transfer. I know that was one of the big things that I was working on. Are there any questions, comments with it? I know Dustin had called me with some questions, just kind of, hey, tell me what this fund is, tell me what that fund is, what is this, what is that? And I want you guys, when you get this information from me, I want to make sure that you understand what it is as much as possible, and that goes for the community as well. Are there any questions with that budget transfer? Any questions with the checks?
Right. Well, I will take a motion to approve the treasurer's report, including the checks to be written, the monthly financial report, and the budget transfers.
So moved.
Second. Can you get a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? Any other questions, concerns? All right, then all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
New business.
So to the new business, we have policy 3019, extracurricular interscholastic physical education credit policy.
That's a mouthful.
Yes.
I recommend to place policy 3019, extracurricular interscholastical physical education credit policy, on review.
Second.
Any further discussion or comments? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on to PL Day.
March 17th.
Is there any
Did you
sort-
want to say anything about that, Dr. Manny?
This is just a PL day that'll be coming up. I'll be actually putting out, pending approval, putting out the information to parents tonight. We need to get everybody trained on test security, test agreement, test for both general summative assessment, PSAT and the SAT. It's right around the corner. April 12th will be the day that the high school takes the SAT. So it's just to get all that training done with our staff. And we don't have another PL day between now and then. We have the extra days due to bank days, and our instructional minutes cover that. So we would like to have the students remain at home on the 17th. The teachers come to school, receive their training for general summative assessment.
That's this Friday.
That's this Friday.
Man, I'm telling you, not to, but as a parent,
Yeah.
that's not very much time to plan,
I know it's not.
as a parent. I mean, I can do it, but I'm saying others though.
I totally agree with
you
you.
know.
I agree with you. We thought about pushing it back until the next week to give parents more time to plan, or even the week after, but with the 12th, we might have more people that need the training. And follow-up training will have to be given to those individuals, and that will put us within a week or two from the testing section, so.
Is this something in the future that can be scheduled out a little bit further ahead?
Well, in the future, I hope to just do it during a professional learning day.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess we'll look to, for a motion to accept the recommendation that there's a professional learning day on March 17th.
So moved.
Second.
All, any further discussion, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Brett, what time should I have my kids over?
That'll be $20 per head.
Did you abstain?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Let's move on to old and unfinished business. Is there any further new business? Okay. So, looks like personnel. The first item is professional position. Is there-
I make a motion to approve Laura Stump's resignation as middle school social studies.
Second.
Do we need any discussion, or is there any recommendation for any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
This next one breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the service section. Is there,
Make a motion to approve the retirement of Susie Kirkpatrick and Sharon Ratliff.
do we, go ahead.
Second.
Is there any discussion, or?
No, just, I would like to thank both of those women that have put their time and, blood and tears into the school system here. I've not had a lot of, I know Sherry personally, but Susie, I see her around everywhere. She's driven bus for my kids.
She's a hero.
My kids know her by name, and it's just, everybody makes a difference, and everybody plays a role, and those are all important. And I just want to say thank you.
Yes.
All in
favor? Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on to extracurricular.
Make a motion to approve Ben Huffman as auxiliary varsity track coach and Caleb Conrad as auxiliary mini Titan softball coach.
Second.
Any further discussion or comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on to, is there any further personnel items that we need to discuss? Moving on to the superintendent's update. Dr. Manning.
Several updates here. Went last week to attend the superintendent's meeting provided by the West Virginia Department of Education, Dr. Roach, on March 9th and 10th. Dr. Roach had some announcements. He announced the hire of Jeff Kelly to replace Charlene Coburn. They are going to be separating the accountability office and the school improvement office at the state. They're going to focus on accountability and auditing school districts. The expectation is that reports and accountability will be submitted on time and accountability will be met. And if not, then they'll bring in support teams. And if it's still not met, they're going to bring in all 16 departments of the department to provide support. They were pretty adamant that the time period of, it's kind of going to be a mixture. It's not exactly like OEPA, but there's definitely going to be accountability measures, and they will be checking often with districts. Christy Day gave an update on the literacy and numeracy program. This is the Ready, Read, Write program. They have really focused a lot of efforts. They've got some of the original videos out. They want to come see what we're doing in each county and provide ongoing support for the science of reading. And they're focused on that, and she reiterated that focus. A little bit with technology, Dave Cartwright gave an update about two-step authentications. Apparently there is a lot of ransomware attacks across the state of West Virginia, 7,000 a day in West Virginia schools, 200,000 a month. They want to protect the systems. They've had several systems that have completely been shut down. This two-step authentication, they were going to roll it out with WEVAS 2.0 and then backed out because WEVAS 2.0, we all know what that was like. And it was like, this is coming. And that will be, even with as low as kindergarten students, they will have to know their number to have not only their login, but then know a number that they will have two-step authentication to get on their computer, on their email, everywhere. So it was kind of related. If there was an email out there that said, if you click here, you're going to get an absolute virus and blow up and explode, somebody would click on that email. And
That includes college professors, by the way, if you've ever worked at the local college.
It's everyone, they just can't stand it. Touch it.
Yep.
so that's all coming down the pike for all of our kids even. It's going to affect everybody in the district.
I was thinking more teachers, like, having to use like we use our cell phones as the second step. Like it sends us a text and we have to put that code in to open it, to turn on our computers.
They haven't quite figured it all out, but they're talking about Weavis numbers. Kids know their Weavis numbers, so don't be alarmed. It's not going to be just us that'll be doing that, but there'll be some. I don't think nearly as many hiccups as Weavis 2.0, but it'll be a learning curve. Paul Hardesty, president of the West Virginia School Board, the West Virginia Department of Education School Board, was there. He discussed specifically those BREM increases, and some districts are taking up to 225% increses, and he really basically said, he's there to let us know that they're going to try to find any way possible to give us support, superintendents and boards and so forth, but just to realize the pain of those very high, steeply brimming increases. That's our insurance premiums.
That's our PEI.
No. That's our liability insurance.
Okay.
And it affected Gilmer County, but not nearly as bad as some of the other counties. Some of the other counties took a huge hit, to the point where they're not going to be in the black anymore. It's going to put them actually in the red.
We don't have as many facilities as probably a lot.
And people and so
People,
forth.
yeah.
So. Matt Christensen, the West Virginia health officer, was there and gave an update on the need of Narcan. He was very adamant about it's in almost all the counties. Only 7 counties are without it currently. I spoke up and asked a specific question about it being required to be locked, and he stated that it did not need to be locked. He has a medication order to anybody in the entire state that can get it up on his license. It is 100% safe with 0 side effects. People are covered under the Good Samaritan law, and we work today with Bev, our school nurse, to try to get the policy totally updated, and we have the way we're going to store it and order the Narcan for Gilmer County schools. And she wrote a blurb in there about additional people being trained to give it out, because we're worried about ball games and different things where we're not there. And in other districts, there was a lot of concern about teachers. Teachers might not want to do this until they got the training and realized it's not just somebody that's addicted to drugs you'd be giving this to. It could be a student that's 8 years old that comes in contact with it, that you'd be saving their life. So I just wanted to reiterate that that'll be happening. That's kind of an emergency situation. We were nervous. I was nervous last week going to Charleston with all those kids. That might be one of those comment period policies that we shorten the comment length so we can get it approved quicker. Because we really need to get the Narcan out into the schools in case something would happen.
We do.
We also were given an update. Dr. Stankus gave an update on the Grow Your Own program. There was a little handout there. We're one of several counties that don't currently still have that Grow Your Own program. This puts teachers back into the community. I would really like to get that program started here. It's a CTE cluster, and it also solves your teacher shortage. Clinton Birch gave an update on the new PEP plan. That's personalized education plan. And the CTE expansion down to 9th and 10th graders. Some of those conversations we were having as a board, that's the direction that the state is moving, to expand that down into the 9th and 10th grade, even down lower than that. We were talking about that earlier today in our work session. to reduce the requirements for 9th and 10th graders to get in. Jason Kelly actually spoke during that time period. That came out of Gilmer County Career Center, and the requirements of changing some of those things like art and science and health, so we could get our 9th graders in 9th and 10th grade there to the Career Center earlier. And so all those were very good changes that were taking place over time. There was a lot of concern from the state that those types of CTE programs need to be obtained quicker. And the reason why they need to be obtained quicker is because there's a vast number of our population that focus on career jobs, and they're kind of like stuck in a rut from 7th and 8th grade all the way up to their junior year or senior year before they get any exposure to the careers. So that was one of the highlights.
So we do not currently participate in the Grow Your Own?
We do not currently participate in the Grow Your Own, and there's a couple different reasons. Number one, it takes a specific teacher. Our schedule didn't allow for that. We are reorganizing the schedule to allow for some of those additional coursework offerings this year. We're not quite ready to unveil that yet, but we're close. And the second reason is our graduating class is extremely small. And if you look at the number of kids that we possibly could put through a CTE program like that, even if you took 10%, you might get 5 kids out of your graduating class. It's just 50, 60 kids. It's just so little. In the future, from 5th grade down, and Clay and I have looked at these numbers, it's down in the 40s. So you're looking at, if you graduated 10% of your class as teachers, or even 20% became teachers, you're only looking at 8 total students. There's just not very many kids. That it's just really small, guys. And so it's valuable, but how we work that in currently, we're trying to come up with a plan, because we're one of very few districts that don't actually have that Grow Your Own program. That Grow Your Own program is kind of being expanded even out into aides and service personnel. One of the areas that we could expand, and we're looking at expanding, is into a cooperative learning situation, where instead of just mentorships at the high school, you'd be able to go and, say your senior year, cooperatively learn at, and I'm just throwing this out there, say you're going to cooperatively learn in a special education classroom from an aide. Then you would have access to that student. They could be inspired to be a part of that, and there's a pathway that they could flow into and get their certification to become an aide through the NOCTI. And then, now they're creating a pathway, if you pass that NOCTI, to go and become a teacher. So there's a lot of different ways that the state is trying to solve the shortage of employees. We have bus driver shortage, we have aide shortage, we have teacher shortage, and they're just trying to be creative with how we do that. The Grow Your Own program would flow right into Glenville State, which we would like to partner with. And we're close to unveiling a partnership with Glenville State with the AA pathway, hopefully by the end of the month, that will allow us to graduate our students with associate's degrees. One of those degrees will be in education. One of them will be in business, one of them is in criminal justice. But we are going to be able to put kids through with a lot of hours towards graduation in their college career. And they will graduate hopefully with a diploma from Glenville State, an associate's degree, and a diploma from Gilmer County High School at the same time.
You know, that's one thing I don't notice many of the seniors saying they want to do is become a teacher.
Question with that, because we're also here for teachers and students and faculty and the like. With the state budget, what are there changes being made to PEIA insurance?
There is. The PEIA, there is a proposed increase in PEIA. However, there's a proposed raise. I think it's a $2,300 raise that they're trying to offset the cost of the PEIA raise. So it's gonna equal itself out.
Any further discussion or questions for Dr. Minnie? Thank you, Dr. Minnie. I don't, do we have to approve that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll
I don't
move
think
on.
Ms. West is
I
named.
talked with her today, something may have come up, but she was planning on coming over to speak about her involvement. I talked with her about it this afternoon.
Well, if she's not here, I'd like to brag on her for a minute. I went out to the school this past week.
Sorry, who's this?
Miss West that
Miss
does
West,
that-
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the after-school program, and I'm just telling you what, man, that place was alive at 5 o'clock. I mean, you think, you know, the bell rings at 3:30 and that place would be empty, but no. The school was absolutely alive. There was kids in the hallways with robotics and stuff. There was kids over to the cafeteria working, like, looked like maybe working on homework or some other sorts of assignments, but it was just, you know,
Yeah, Miss West does a great job.
I feel like the community, like that's, you know, I know it's a school and it's a community building, but like it really, like after, when you go out there after 5 and you see what's going on, it really feels like community out there, Tyson.
Tyson,
Touche
Good
to
job,
you
Mr.
too.
Price.
Do you have, could you just provide them a quick update on some of the activities you had last week? I know you had a ton of activities.
Yeah, well, we took a trip to Charleston, of course, and that was a wonderful trip. When you guys see the checks that are being written, we actually wrote a check for a hotel room, but don't anybody be alarmed by that. It's actually a conference room at the La Quinta Inn, and we stopped and we had booked the conference room. We were concerned about kids being on the bus for that long, not being able to use the bathroom and having trouble serving lunch. What started out with serving, and having access to a bathroom. The high school parked their buses right there, so they also were able to take advantage of that. But then, I think Ms. West was gonna talk about a couple things that were going on at the after-school program. But are you guys familiar with the after-school program, the components and the things like that that are at the after-school program?
We had several events the week before. She had.
The Read Across America
The
Week.
Read Across America Week.
We
And-
unveiled the food van, which is right out here, and we were able to get all of our students into that food van throughout the day. We took a little bit of a tour with that. We had our partners from Save the Children that were there, and they provided some agriculture lessons as well, and gave students a snack, and we sent them home with bags of food, produce.
Yes, I got cauliflower,
I got some cauliflower too.
Yes.
And it was a little bit. and you-
potatoes.
Any recipes?
I love
We
mashed
roasted
cauliflower.
ours.
I like mashed
All
cauliflower.
right, I want to be prepared for next time. Mashed,
Yeah, I
okay,
do.
all right, all
Mashed
right.
potatoes,
We had folks from Glenville State College to come in and read. The ed department always dresses up like Dr. Seuss characters. They came in and they visited classrooms. And we had a spirit week, so we were all wearing our Dr. Seuss hats or our cat in the hat hats on Thursday, I believe it was. And so it was an exciting week. We had
Yeah, it was a good week.
our students were starting a mentor program. Our leadership team is talking about this program that we're kind of making at the school level where older students will read to younger students. And just have it kind of called the buddy reading, but we haven't even named it yet. We're just in the early parts of this. But that's one of the things that we pulled off on Read Across America Week, where the older students talked with some of the, read some of the younger students. Colt, what am I missing here, buddy? Help me out.
I think the reading was right up there with the handwriting for God.
This is fun, huh? But it was jam-packed, and we have our Title I teachers really led that. Shelley's always very supportive of that, the board office is always very supportive of it, and it went really well.
Yes, thank you very much for all the activities.
Yeah.
Any other continuous improvement items? Moving on to board member comments. Any comments?
I have one. You want to go ahead? You want me to go? I would just like to congratulate the girls varsity basketball team for making it to the state tournament. You know, that's something I think the whole county really takes interest in, and I thought we had I went down, took a day off work, went down. I thought we had really good support down there. Just wasn't our time. Maybe next year, you never know. But just wanted to congratulate them.
And I just wanted to thank everyone. There's so much positive energy and so much forward motion in the county. It's an exciting time, and I can't wait to see what all this brings.
Let's see. I'm sorry, are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Minnie, you were talking about Grow Your Own, which is, by the way, I mean, we work with it at the college, and it is, in short, it is a great way to end up with credentials or a degree and get out of college debt-free. So it's something we really should look into. Do we work with the homegrown program? There's Grow Your Own and Homegrown, believe it or not. There's two different ones. I believe with the Homegrown program, you, whatever county you come from, you go to a state
Yes.
school, okay? And then you do your student teaching,
And you get hired back.
and you get hired back.
Right.
And you receive a pretty good scholarship for that, and it's also job security, really, when you get out.
Workforce security too.
Yes. If we are not in on that, we should look in on that, because at Glenville State, basically what that means is if a student comes in and comes to Glenville from Hampshire County, we're gonna have to go to Hampshire County to go observe them. If they come in from Mercer, we're gonna have to figure out a way to go to the bottom of the state to go observe them. We are right across the street. So it would be really easy for some of these students from Gilmer County to go work over there and then come right across the street here and get jobs. So that's something that I think the college in the
I
school
totally
district
agree.
would work
I
out.
would really like to get Grow Your Own. I'd like to utilize both of those programs,
Mm-hmm.
but the Grow Your Own is gonna take some personnel on our end.
Yes.
We're gonna have to dedicate some people to it. I think once the Grow Your Own, if we can find some folks that will do Grow Your Own, I think that those folks will be identified, and they'll go to Glenville State thinking, okay, I'm gonna go there for a year or two, and then I'm gonna come back and work in an area of need in this
Mhm.
county. And of course, it's paid for.
Yes,
It's-
yes.
And that's what the advantage of it is. And they also get paid as an intern.
Mhm.
So instead of just paying out tuition and going to the intern, they actually get paid to come be an intern.
And then the only other thing I have to say, congratulations, Sam Ramsey, Cadence Miller, and Isaac Cottrell, who successfully completed their welding certification. Congrats to the high school 10 through 12 math field day team for placing first in Group B. And Preston Greenleaf for winning the estimation jar at math field day.
Oh, that's awesome. Was it M&M's? I wonder.
I don't know. I was trying to text Kelly saying, what was in there? What was in there? I was hoping it was like gumdrops or
I'm
M&Ms
glad you
or
got
something.
Cadence Miller. I had Cadence in baseball, great young man. I
Yeah.
saw that he had passed. That's all he got. That's good stuff. Yeah.
That's it for me. Thank you.
Anything further? Then I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right, we are adjourned.
Oh yeah.